Preparations are underway in Hiroshima, Japan, to welcome G7 leaders to a place forever etched in history. In 1945, the U.S. dropped the first ever atomic bomb here, effectively ending World War II.
I think Japan had hoped that they could use the summit to talk about the abolition of nuclear weapons. But, the US, UK, France are not going to make any solid commitment. Instead, I think we'll be hearing a lot about North Korea's nuclear program, about Iran's nuclear aspirations.
There are only two of the countries high on the agenda, but absent from the room. Both Russia and China are expected to dominate the discussions at this summit. The group of seven includes the US, Japan, the UK, France, Germany, Canada, and Italy. Their meetings typically also include the European Union. While G7 leaders are widely expected to issue a new package of sanctions against Russia, this summit comes 18 months into a war with seemingly no end in sight.
I think the message from the G7 is going to be one of unified support to Ukraine, especially as Kiev is preparing for its long-awaited counter-offensive against the Russians. Japan has invited the Brazilian president, President Lula, to this meeting, along with other leaders such as India's Narendra Modi. And Lula has been on a diplomatic campaign for the last few months, talking about the need to set up a contact group, mediate between Russia and Ukraine.
But any resolution to that conflict will undoubtedly need Beijing on board, given it remains Moscow's biggest ally.
What I really hope will come out of this is something that really doesn't just simply reinforce the kind of either or, us versus them kind of approach that, particularly towards China, that the G7 has taken, and that there's much more of a tone of efforts to try to gain traction on engagement.
That notion urged on by protesters near the summit site, who see the G7 as little more than an imperialist club. Yasmine El-Sabawi, TRT World.